All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good today. I'm here. Ugh. I'm awake. I didn't want to get up, but I'm awake. Nasdaq is at 25,900 right now. Bitcoin is at 88,700. We do have a big crypto and Bitcoin expiry today. The Bitcoin ETH options expire 25 to 27 billion notional, which could shake current range if we get hedging or gamma flows. Gold and silver still around all-time highs. Nvidia right around 190 here. And here's gold. Gold is over $4,500 an ounce right now. All-time high for gold futures, at least at 45.61s. Silver all-time highs around 75. I saw it hit yesterday. Got up to $75.83. It pulled back a little bit from there, but it's still pretty green at 74.50 or so right now for silver. And Nvidia at 190s. Nasdaq still edging higher this morning. And again, in markets historically, the day in which we normally get a Santa rally starting is December 26th, which is today. So we'll see if we get a Santa rally move. You guys think? Will we get one? I'm here. Thought about not streaming today, to be honest, just because I thought the volume would be a little bit light. We only got one day, and then it's the weekend again, so we'll see what we get. We'll cover any news we have, but we don't have any economic data today. Yeah. So Michael Saylor said, quote, "We're hearing rumors that major banks in the United States will start buying Bitcoin, custody Bitcoin, and issue credit against the native Bitcoin asset in the first half of 2026. See if that happens. Obviously, I think that would be a bullish sign for crypto, but we'll see if that actually happens. Yeah, 10-year yields currently sitting. We can take a look at them. These 10-year treasuries are 4.13%. Got a little bit lower, I think, since the holiday started, but definitely a little bit lower this morning. 4.134% right now. Yields are down. Take a look at rate cut odds for January. We're at 85.15 basically for a pause in January. My stock portfolio is mostly up. What is this propped up by? Meta's good. Okay, it looks like most of my stock portfolio is pretty good. Oracle's good, Meta's good, Nike's good. Nike's very good. We bought the dip earlier this week. Target's good. Treasury bills are good. Coca-Cola's good, so yeah. See if get any market movement today. Look at the Nasdaq. I do want to buy a pullback potentially in the Nasdaq here. What's up? Reggie, Luke, Nathan, Jim, Yee, Mike, Discipline, Pawn, Hava, Steve, Good News, Mantis, Womble, Matt, Old, Brian, Brad, Mr. E. Oh, yeah, Merry Christmas, guys. Hopefully yours was good if you celebrate it. And yeah, I'm here this morning, man. I didn't feel like getting up this morning, dude. I did not feel like waking up, man. But I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, looking up news again. The calendar's light for the next few weeks, to be honest. Like this week we had GDP. Next week we have Fed minutes report Tuesday, jobless claims Wednesday. and then first few days. So like Monday, Tuesday next week we have stuff. I'm wondering, is New Year's Eve? NASDAQ and S&P are open. New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ, I mean, are open on New Year's Eve, but they close early, usually around 1 o'clock. Bond markets close earlier, around 2 p.m. Are you guys up or down this week? Let's do a poll. We have a red day or green day today. What we're gonna ask. Today close red or green markets. Vote on that poll. Again, we're green. I'm looking to buy a dip potentially here. If we get a dip down to like 875s, 890s. Yeah, Nvidia bought Groq, 20 billion. GROQ. So Nvidia's buying Groq's low latency AI accelerator technology. Their team and their IP in its largest deal ever. Should beef up Prince ASIC hardware, GPUs as well, but a lot of people are arguing that that buyout deal is bad. Yeah, earlier in the week we had jobless claims come out a little bit lower than expected. Of that earlier. Yeah, what are we gonna say it's a rally today? I think is the big question. What do you guys think? Do we get one today? Yeah, I'm looking up breaking news. Gold and silver, obviously. Nvidia buying up Groq AI chip assets for 20 billion. There's a potential Alibaba GPU order of 40 to 50,000 MI 308 unit. Contingent on approval, regulatory approval. It could generate 600 million plus, though. Apparently Disney is up as well. Yesterday, Monday, Disney ripped up higher too, so. And I'm in Disney as well. Yeah, I'll look for a pullback, but honestly, look how quiet the market is. How slow this is. The range is so small. We'll see what we get today, guys. Yeah, I'll put some levels up soon. Again, it's still early. But and the news is light this one. Never short a dull market. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna short it. I'd buy a pullback if we got one, maybe. But I'm not gonna short it. It's do me a favor, hit the like button or subscribe button. I appreciate it. I think a lot of people drank last night, and so they're just kind of hanging out this morning. What did you guys get for Christmas this morning or yesterday morning? Let me know. Let me know in chat right now what you got. Again, the news is pretty light still, man. Not a lot going on. Full. Okay, that you know, I understand that. Yeah, I don't know if a Santa rally's coming or not. Honestly, I've been around the market long enough to watch for years what happens during the December month, and sometimes what happens is the market dumps down big. I've seen the market where it drops big Christmas Eve and then continues downward pressure into next year. I've seen that. I've also seen times where we run, where the market runs up big and we get some bullish action ahead of the, like I've seen that as well, right? So I think either one of those things is possible. It doesn't necessarily mean, like, people hear Santa rally and they automatically assume that the market is going to go up because of the holiday dynamic. It's not always the case. Sometimes we see the opposite. We do have some crypto expiry stuff today. A nice pawn. Yeah, the NASDAQ all-time high is what, 26.4s? I'm trying to think of where all-time highs is on the NASDAQ. I think it's like 26.4s, if I remember correctly. I have to look back deeper here. Let's look at a daily chart. Oh no, it's 26.6s here. All-time high on the NASDAQ is like 26.650. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, we're close. We're about $700, $600 away, $700 away on the NASDAQ, so we're close. We could break it. Santa rally happens every year. It does not happen every year. It happens a lot of the time, not always though. Nice, Chris. That's good. Gold's around all-time highs. Got an electric scooter. Nice. You got liquidated. Not good. It does not happen every year though, guys. I'm telling you, it doesn't. It just doesn't happen every year. Again, we do have some crypto stuff today. So again, today we have the year-end option expiration on Deribit. Half of all Bitcoin ETH options open interest rolls off in one shot. So this is roughly 23.6 billion of Bitcoin options and 3.8 billion of ETH options expire today on Deribit. About 27 to 28 billion notional, more than 50% of their total option open interest. These are mostly monthly and quarterly, which are Q4 contracts. So this is the big final reset for this year, positioning called Boxing Day, or year-end reset. So happens at about 3 a.m. All right, so we gotta get a little dip. I'll probably buy this and see what happens here. Let me see. I'll try to buy it. We'll take a couple here. It's a Sparta. We'll see. Buy a little bit. Yeah, so the option expiry already happened. It happened at like 3 a.m. last night. All right, so we're up a little bit. I could add to this. I think I'll just let it roll. Right, so we're a little green here. No, we're not green. I like setting it to a tick chart. I can't remember how to do that. I remember how to do that. I can't remember. Maybe I should get hotkey set up too. It's also an elf stock, isn't it? The makeup stock. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about ELF. It's just not my style of stock, but I know it had some big pullbacks earlier in the year, from 130s down to 80 where it's at now. So it could be cheap. I just don't know much about. I don't know enough about this one. I do want to add more to this. Kind of a big drop though. I'm trying to make sure no big news came out, but it's all pretty small still. Add some to this here. I'll take the risk. Okay, yeah, I see it. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Okay. How was your Christmas? It was good, man. It was good. Had family over. Got more family coming tomorrow or the next day. Honestly, look, as much as I like the holidays, I'm ready for it to be over. We've been moving nonstop for like 3 weeks. Tired, man. I want a day where I could just lay around and not do anything. But I always love the holidays. Holidays are one of my favorite parts of the year, but I'm also ready to not do anything. Is a Santa rally already priced in? Look at this pop. Okay, we're gonna start unloading some profit over here. Love to see it. We'll take 3/5 of this position off. Maybe add it back. I mean, I think a bounce makes sense. A lot of people are talking about a Santa rally. All right. Honestly, remember I bought the dip on Christmas Eve? The day before yesterday, I bought the dip. I was like, I believe the market's gonna rip up. And I scalped it instead of holding it, and the market just flew up on December 24th. Should have held, man. I should have held, honestly. In hindsight, the market went up a lot. Should have held. Nasdaq's green on the day. The S&P 500 is green on the day. It's at 690s. Again, the news is a little light. Holiday trading is here, probably. Yeah, John, that's what we were talking about last night. Mama Pawn crashed out early last night and is still out this morning. We have one more to go. Yeah, that was like me yesterday. I fell asleep early. I didn't fall asleep that early though, but early enough. All right. I'm gonna take half off of this, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna add back on a pullback. We pull back more, I'll add back to it. Yeah, but look at gold right here. Silver, 75. The question is, when does gold break 5,000? And I think it kind of wants to break 5,000. Looking at her poll, 62%, 63% think we're gonna close green, 37% see red. If I had a nickel for every time you should have held. I know, bro. Listen, I should have held. Most of the time, my entries are again. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always understand all this stuff on screen. I don't guarantee anything, guys. Understand all this stuff on screen. Can't guarantee anything. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. But I think my initial entries are pretty solid a lot of the time. So you hear me saying I should have held a lot because I really should have. And I mean, I'm still making money on these trades most of the time. And again, what it really is that a lot of the time my first trades of the day are very small because I'm just trying to build up a cushion on the day that I can then take larger risk into. I'm going to add to this here. And so that's what I'm doing a lot is like I'm trying to make small profit first. Right. Once I make small profit, then I can scale up on my next trades. And I think it makes sense to take the first few trades of the day very small, very slow. Build up that little cushion and then add to it as time goes on. And I think that way, if I lose, it's small. It doesn't matter that much. But if I win, you know, I can then take larger risk and slowly, progressively build a cushion on the day. I think that's the right way to trade in the morning, especially on slow days like this. That's the right way. Here we go. I'm going to take a little bit more off here now. Like this. Take some more off there. We'll give it a second now. I'll cut the rest break even. That way it's not going to be a losing trade no matter what. Right, you got to feel out the market first. I don't want to just go big first trade of the day. I don't think that makes any sense. No. Part of the market is reading what's going on correctly. You know? And there's a different story every day. And sometimes the story you make up in your head is correct, and sometimes it's not. You know, and you can't be too rigid with that story. Sometimes you got to just abandon that story and say, okay, I was wrong. Let me go do something else. Other days you're spot on with the story, and the story you have in your head is right. An example of that is like on the 24th, the day before yesterday, I told people I believed we would push up, and I saw somebody say, "Hey, how did you do that?" Like, how, you know? And really, I just guessed correctly. It's just a guess. Doesn't always happen for sure, but I think most market participants, when they first look at markets, they try to figure out what the story is, and you know. Sometimes it's easy to, and sometimes it's not. Today, the story is, will we get a Santa rally? You know, again, historically, Santa rallies start right around the 26th up to January 2nd. Today's the 26th, so will we get push-ups today? That's why I'm going long today, is because I think there's enough market optimism for a Santa rally that might give us at least some short-term bounces, which is why I ended up buying down here and then adding to it and attacking these bounces. And so, yeah, I think that's the story of the day, is will we get a Santa rally? The other story is the option expiry that we got this morning for crypto and Bitcoin. ETH and Bitcoin options expired, so yeah. Profit is profit. Yeah, usually if I'm patient, I can... I only gained 30% of that instead of 100%. I got out. A win is a win. That's right. We're back. Good morning. Are we sooner than later on gold? All right, there's a pop here. Again, I'm gonna cut it right there and just liquidate it and just get out. I think I might buy another dip, but I don't really like attacking high of the days. Not really. I would prefer the range instead. So I'd rather buy it here, cut it here, attack this range right here, versus this move that could potentially happen, but it's not always going to happen. Sometimes we're just going to reject the top, and then we're going to come back down and then trend sideways for a little bit. And so I'd rather be safe, and then I can always buy a dip if I really like it again. Yeah, the S&P 500 up to all-time highs again. I've been saying this for a while. The S&P 500 wants 7,000. And so another reason to potentially argue bullish momentum is that the S&P 500 is right under 7,000. New all-time high on the S&P 500 is 69.90. $10 away from 7,000. Big round whole number. And I think that makes a reasonable argument for bullishness on the day. I think people are going to recognize that we're close to that big milestone 7,000 level on the S&P, and they might prop the S&P up today. That we might see some bullish action. We only need to go up $10. Very reasonable amount today. And so yeah, we'll see what happens there as well. Really about $20, but still, we could definitely potentially do that. I'm not saying we will. But let me know if you guys think the S&P will break 7,000 today. I think it could. Yeah, maybe. Should have held coming in 2 minutes. I probably should have held, really. Yeah, so China signals complex changes through 2030. The People's Bank of China warned that 2026 through 2030 period under the 15 5-year plan will be marked by big uncertainty and complex changes. China faces rising risks alongside strategic opportunities. The central bank said economic fundamentals remain strong, resilient, and supportive of long-term growth. Plan emphasizes accelerating development in 5 key areas, which is tech, green, inclusive, pension, and digital finance. No, you're good, Pawn. Lee was right. Yeah, maybe, bro. Maybe. Again, it might be a slower day today. Next week we got some stuff. We got Fed minutes. We got jobless claims. Pending home sales, Case Shiller, and then that's basically it. And then maybe the week after that, I think we get some stuff. I'll have to look, but we had GDP earlier this week. GDP showed up at 4.3%, 4.3%, much stronger than anybody expected. They expected 3.2. We should have a full percentage point higher than expected at 4.3%. For GDP, we also had jobless claims that showed up at what? I think it was like, what did jobless claims show up? It was like 216, 214. The lower than expected claims numbers as well for jobless claims, unemployment, lower than expected claims numbers. I think it was like 214 or 216. Look at Nvidia though, guys. Nvidia up to basically 190 right now. Looks like it's going to tap 190 here. Highs of the day on Nvidia. The highs of the extended hour session are different. Highs of the day are lower, but the highs of the extended hours are right here at 190.65. We're not that far away from that, but Nvidia about to tap 190. If that drags the market up. Honestly, a lot of places are going to be closed a lot. Like, a lot of places are going to be closed next week. I'm looking at, like, News Squawk. It's going to be closed until the 1st of January. Again, we do have Fed Minutes Report next week on Wednesday, I think. Or maybe it's Tuesday next week. Let me see. Okay, yeah, it's Tuesday next week. Wednesday's a shortened day, so markets aren't open. Sound? The sound bad? Markets are so dull here too. Yeah, see Zelensky saying a framework deal between Ukraine and the U.S. is, quote, almost ready. He expects a meeting with the U.S. president on Sunday in Florida, apparently. Yeah, Nvidia announced buying GROQ. Not Groq, GROK, GROQ. But it's not Groq, GROK, it's GROQ. And again, they're paying a huge amount because it wants to own another kind of scaling tool for AI, basically. So to put this into like simpler terms, right? GROQ, Groq, Nvidia's current chips are... Nvidia currently sells like one type of chip, mostly meant for like power, flexibility, but they're expensive to run millions of times a day that you need for AI, right? Groq, GROQ, builds fast and efficient chips that are used for different things. So it helps people basically answer AI requests at scale. It helps them answer AI requests at scale. And so, but we also have like Google and Amazon developing their own TPUs to cut costs. And so people are worried about Nvidia in that context of like, hey, is Nvidia going to have some competition for this type of stuff? And that's kind of where this buyout comes in. By buying Groq, Nvidia is basically saying, hey, we're not just selling GPUs anymore, which are like the ones they use for power, but they're developing their own they're developing efficiency chips essentially to which help run AI cheaply, help them compete a little bit more. People are worried though because people think that because Nvidia is buying Groq, it's a bad sign. I don't necessarily think the case, and I think Nvidia is up from this. But yeah, people are worried. Basically, spending $20 billion makes it look like Nvidia is feeling pressure from these cheaper, newer AI chips from Google's TPUs, and so the old GPU only, dynamic might be fading, and people are a little bit worried about it. Maybe it threatens Nvidia's dominance and things. That's why people are worried about it. But again, Nvidia is mostly reacting well. I don't necessarily think so, Kevin. All right, NASDAQ is pushing higher. Look, like Pawn said, I should have held. The NASDAQ is up over 25,900s here. I'm curious about 26. I think 26,000 is a level. And look at Nvidia push. So part of this is due to Nvidia running. Look at that pop on NASDAQ here. I don't see any news driving this, but we are popping higher here. Yeah, gold is flying higher. Yeah, I mean, with precious metals pushing higher, again, I want to see if the NASDAQ or the S&P 500 breaks all-time highs today at 7,000. It's very close. Because of that, I do have a bullish bias here. And we got the Santa rally dynamic. Nvidia's up. I do have a bullish bias today. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. I really have no idea what's going to happen here. Most of those Bitcoin options are already expired, I think. So on Deribit, which is a crypto derivative exchange that sells like Bitcoin and ETH options, futures. Coinbase is potentially buying them, but at 3 a.m. roughly this morning, which is 8 a.m. UTC, contracts stopped trading and are settled versus a reference price. Again, the largest wave is usually around 3 a.m. Central Time, so it already happened. But it's the largest crypto expiry every year. And this is the largest one ever, with around 260 to 300,000 Bitcoin option contracts and corresponding ETH contracts rolling off essentially. But it already happened, and Bitcoin's not really moving. So everybody acted like, I mean, Bitcoin went down into it, kind of a, you know, here's Bitcoin over the last few months, but today specifically, it's actually, it's down slightly on the day, but it went up yesterday. Again, the option expire happened right around here, and we dropped originally. Like, kind of see this big drop, but it wasn't like crazy or parabolic or anything. Like, it's not. People were acting like it was just going to be this monster thing, and that hasn't happened yet. We'll see what happens for the rest of the day. But Bitcoin has been mostly flat, and it did drop some early this morning at around 2 a.m., which is when it happened. But it dropped from about 89 down to 88, so it dropped a little bit over 1%, which is not good, obviously, for crypto, but it's not crazy bad, if that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, the dollar index, it is down big on the year. It was at 110 to start the year. It's at about 97. Precious metals are rising. I mean, I would say when you zoom out on the dollar, though, and you got to understand this, people are going to say a lot of crazy stuff always about the dollar. If you zoom out, we're pretty much sideways since 2020. You know, we're actually a little green relative to where we were in 2020. Here's where we were in 2020. Here's where we are now. So you got to understand the nature of this is that people tend to, I would say people tend to sensationalize dollar. And I've said this 1,000 times, but it makes sense. If the dollar's really low, like here, people say, oh no, the dollar is collapsing. It's the end of the world. You know, if the dollar's really high up here, they say, oh no, you know, the dollar index is too high. It's the end of the world. Right? And generally speaking, we kind of go up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down. And now we're towards the bottom, but we're not even close to it. And so I don't know. I wouldn't sensationalize the dollar falling yet. Maybe if it keeps dropping, maybe. You know, and I know people are going to be talking about the dollar because of gold rising so much. Again, all-time highs on gold are now 45.61s, and we're at 45.50. So, I mean, gold, silver tapped 75. Yes. Was it yesterday? Silver tapped 75? But yeah. I had AI make me this beautiful Christmas card for you all. Apparently, this is me. I don't know if it looks like me necessarily. Maybe I'll grow my hair out like this. But is that me? That would be me if I gained some weight and I grew my hair out really long No. Maybe it is me. I don't know. The beard is right. I'll give it that. The beard is correct. Maybe that's me. I don't know. Baker Mayfield. Yeah. I can see Baker in there. Hey, what's up, Tiny? Happy Friday. Yeah. Maybe, again, maybe that is me. Let me know if that's me right there. Maybe it is. Again, give me a follow on x.com at Beginner Trades. Right, I don't know if I've ever been this angry. The dogs are accurate. That looks like Bruce right here. I didn't even send them pictures of the dogs. But that does look like Bruce. Right here. That kind of looks like Rosie. Anger management. I'm not usually a really angry person. I'm really not. Like, I have certain things that make me angry, but like, I'm usually pretty chill, I would say. I don't know if I'm stoic. I think I'm kind of, you know, ADHD. I mean, there's a couple different silver tickler in futures. You can put SIL. That's 74.68. You can put SI. They're both silver. So whichever one you want to use, you can use. Ooh. That's John during the crypto bull run. I don't know, bro. I feel like I'd have a better house than during the crypto bull run, you know? I kind of like a wood wall, though. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Bitcoin. I'm looking at silver futures. But yours is different, Gary. So you're looking at an ETF, an exchange traded fund. Lions got smashed. Are you talking about which wait. I think I watched the Lions game. Is the Lions game the one where it was the very end of the game? We made a touchdown. The refs pulled it back and there was like barely any time left. And then they stopped him and we didn't get the touchdown. Is that the one? I'm trying to remember. This was like a week ago. Hold on. Or was that a different game than I was watching? I think I'm talking about Lions versus Steelers. Yeah, they brought it back. It was offensive pass interference, and they pulled them back, and then they didn't get it. Like, everybody thought the game was over. I was rooting for the Lions, too. And so I was, like, celebrating, and then they brought it back. Is that the right one? Yeah, dude, that was a weird, crazy ending. I was disappointed. Those refs were kind of suspect. Especially, it seemed like they just didn't like the Lions. But hey, Saints, Sergio, but they're not good. So, all right, next year. All right, again, markets are sideways here, guys. Anything that looks good? Any dips that look good in markets here? Any stocks that look cheap to buy? Let me know. I'm looking at stuff, but. Who wins the college football championship? Oof. I don't know. I mean, I think it would be really funny if Ole Miss did, but I don't think they will. I think it's going to be either Ohio State. You know, I think maybe Ohio State, but I don't know for sure. All right, guys. Again, Nasdaq's choppy. Silver up to 74.80s here, 74.80s. Nvidia at 190s. So again, Nvidia's at 190s. Of course, I'm an LSU fan. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Applied Digital. Yeah, I mean, Applied Digital is definitely interesting. I mean, it's pulling back after tapping 40. Big dip. It really looks interesting. I have to look at what the PE ratio is, but Nasdaq testing the highs of the day again here. I think these are highs of the day. Yeah, highs of the day. Nasdaq test 25,900. Again, I'm watching the S&P 500 today. Again, it's Friday. I think a lot of people are traveling and doing stuff today, so we might get low volume, of course, but the market's pushing up. We'll see if it continues. ARM looks cheap. Yeah, ARM. I'm looking at Applied Digital. What's the PE ratio, though? Take a look. Nasdaq did break over highs. Applied Digital's PE ratio isn't that bad. I mean, it's not really my style, though. It's not a... Like, I'm not usually looking for trending companies like this, but it seems like a reasonable pullback. It's just a little bit... yeah, if it's not profitable, it's not really my style, you know. And I know ARM ripped up. ARM actually was a rare company that I bought on IPO day and I actually made money on. So I bought ARM on IPO day. I paid like $40-something a share for it. And then I sold it when it hit 160s for ARM or something like that. Like right around 160. I sold. I can't remember exactly where, but I remember I bought it around IPO day. It wasn't, I don't think it was on IPO day. I think it was at like 46. I held it all the way through like 140s, 150s, I think. Sold it somewhere around there. Here's the S&P and the Nasdaq pushing up, though. And Nasdaq's starting to head higher. Again, here's the S&P. I'm looking to see if it breaks 7,000 today. I don't remember how many shares I bought of ARM, but it wasn't a lot. It was IPO. I'm not really a big believer in IPOs. Explain how low volume pushes markets higher. It has to do with orders going through. Like when there's a little bit larger spread, it has to jump up more to get filled, and then that pushes the price a little bit higher, and then it has to jump up a little bit more to get filled again. The slimmer spread from lower liquidity and volume. Should have held, guys. I should have held. Yeah, I can't remember exactly when I bought it. It was a while back. We're doing something here. We're trying to put. If we hold. Again, volume's a little light this morning, man. Not a lot going on. One point Nvidia was going to buy ARM, but the deal fell through. Yeah. In the news, it's so light. News is so boring right now. Yeah, it makes sense. We'll see if we get to say it's a rally today. I don't know. I don't know if we will. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big, like, JOB, Michael. Again, it's just too cheap for me. Like a 19-cent stock. No volume, no liquidity. Maybe it moves up big. Maybe it crashes down big. I'm really not sure. It's definitely not my style to trade. I don't really gamble with these penny stocks. I'm not really a big believer of that. All right, NASDAQ is pushing higher here. It's almost a 915. Again, I'm going to say it again. I should have held, guys. I should have held. See if the S&P breaks. The S&P is very close to hitting 7,000 for the first time. So let's see if it does. All right. We're at 25,912. Right now, look at Nvidia. NASDAQ pushing higher. I'm trying to see what's driving it. Let's see if we have any. Apple, low. Google's up a little bit. AMD is. Meta's pushing back higher right now. Netflix is red on the day. Amazon's green. Meta just went green. Google's green. AMD's green. Yeah, a lot of people are on vacation. I'm probably going to cut it down early today, guys. I'm not really just seeing... There's not really seeing much. Look at this level, though. We tapped this level here. Yeah, Bitcoin is moving up a little bit. I mean, look, Bitcoin's up some. It's up to 88,820s. Look at this pop. I want to trade this right now. Alright, I will short this. It's dangerous short, but I'll try shorting it. Take a couple ticks. We're already green on the day. I'll take maybe 5 right here. If we go back down. Give it a second. We already got a cushion on the day, so we can take a little bit larger risk. Yeah, people are mad on the roads for sure. Like, I'm in this short, and we pushed up a lot. Like, I'll take a little bit larger of a risk. But I don't really like this pullback here. If we fall. We have a cushion, so I can take larger risk. I'm gonna see if we break down. Nope. Shouldn't have shorted the Santa rally, I think, here. But pretty flat, actually, here. I'm gonna take some off, though. I don't trust it. I'd rather keep it small on the day. Live to fight another day. Go too big here. Now we're basically flat. I'll let this trade figure it out first. Yeah, we're flat right now. I'm gonna see what this trade brings. Again, check out Top Step. You want to help support the channel. There's no PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, Nasdaq, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. Just a great way to learn how to trade. Most day traders lose. It's 50 bucks a month for the base one. You pass it, you get a 50K funded account. You fail it, you lose 50 bucks. It's not the end of the world. It's the best of both worlds in that context. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I am biased because I get paid by them. You can see the link. I'll put it up. But it's a great way to learn, great way to help support the channel. I'll put the link up right here. They recently lowered activation fees universally. More. Check them out. There's the link in the chat. I'm trying to give this trade a little bit longer, but yeah, when we come back next week, we'll stream our normal hours, starting early at 6:15, 7:15 market time, and we'll stream into the bell like we normally do. It's just, I think a lot of people are traveling today. It's kind of boring. It was good though. My son got a 3D printer. Yeah, I'm waiting here, guys. I just want to see a dip if I can get one here, but taking longer than I would prefer. We're flat on the trade, which is good, but do we go green now? Boring is good for me. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should have shorted the top, but that's probably what it is. But still optimistic. Close it. That's pretty small right now. I'm just letting it work. It's a small trade anyway. I want to give it a second to dip. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green candles in a row on a 1-minute chart. So I want to give it a little time. Look at Nvidia though. I think Nvidia is dragging it higher here. Nvidia at 190s. So, all right, we'll cut it pretty soon. If we break over 920 big, yeah, I'll cut it. Oh my gosh, I just added to it accidentally. Oops. Oh, I'm used to going long in this market. I'm gonna cut. I'll cut it now. That's fine. All right, very small. Yeah, he got a 3D printer. He did get one. I'm gonna get out of here though, guys. I'm cutting it early. Listen, it's the day after Christmas. A lot of people are still sleeping. Markets are moving up. Will we get a Santa rally? But I'll be back Monday. I just wanted to step in and hang out with you guys for a little bit. Yeah, we'll see what we get now. Again, we will be starting at our normal time on Monday. What that looks like. And yeah, see you guys a little bit later. Have a great weekend. Y'all be safe this weekend. There's the pullback. I should have held. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it out. It's look, there's the pullback. I should have held through this dip. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all be good. Have a great day.